You can probably hear a lot of noises around me, but you'll have to wait until the end to find out where I am. And I definitely need a haircut, but that'll have to wait for now. Hi guys, my name is Jay. Welcome to my channel. I have 1 month left until medical school, and I wanted to share with you where I am today. Let's get started. So let's go back to July 2019. At this point, I was still living in Poland, and I had just landed a job in Paris. So in July of 2019, I ended up moving to Paris, and I was working until recently as a startup analyst at a company called Hello Tomorrow. So basically, we worked with a lot of different startup companies that were working on breakthrough technologies in medicine and anything that was cutting edge in science. And I really enjoyed my work environment. I really love working in startups, and I loved my coworkers, but quickly I started to realize that I wasn't as excited as I thought I would be. I would end up going to work and actually spend the entire day working on my personal projects rather than getting the job done. So I realized that I really was ready to go to med school, and basically until recently, I was still working there. So about mid-April 2020, I was supposed to finish my job contract in Paris, and I was going to spend several months from April until the start of medical school traveling all over Europe. I had this big trip planned to visit 13 different cities in the Balkans and basically take buses everywhere. And of course, that's when we had COVID-19. So in March 2020, the entire world basically went on lockdown, and I got stuck in Paris. And to be completely honest, quarantine in Paris was extremely crappy. It sucked. It was very strict. There were a lot of rules. We couldn't go outside. We could only go out for necessities like groceries, going to the doctor, or if we needed to go to work, but only if we were essential workers. And on top of that, we had to fill out declarations every time we left our apartment or our house. We had to say at what time we were leaving, where we were going, what all of our names were, date of birth, all of that information. And if we were caught without a declaration, we would get fined. And on top of that, we couldn't even go further than 1 kilometer from our house. So it was really not a fun time, as you can imagine. But anyways, around the end of May, restrictions started loosening throughout Europe, and so I decided to travel. Hey guys, so I am in the process of packing right now. I've packed almost everything. You can see I still have a few things here, and then the small carry-on bag, and my huge suitcase, and then I'm also going to have 1 backpack. So tonight I have a Zoom mixer. I'm going to meet my classmates for the first time. There's 50 of us, and we're all going to get on Zoom. The only thing is that it is going to be super late here in Paris, because it'll be evening for everybody in the US, and then for me it'll be like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm still debating if I should stay up. I probably will, because I want to meet people, but in the morning I have a flight at 10, and you have to wait and see. I will take you along with me, and we will go through all of the obstacles together, but hopefully we make it flawlessly through to the final destination. So let's see what happens. Alright guys, I'm set. It is almost 8 a.m. so I'm about to call an Uber to get me to the airport. It should take about 30 minutes, and then we will go from there. Okay, so I made it to the airport, went to get my boarding pass and check in my big bag, and I was afraid that it would be overweight, but I think I was overweight and they still didn't care. So hopefully we'll make it. There aren't too many people here, and I'm about to go through security. We'll see how that goes. Should be smooth. And during that time, I decided to go to Bulgaria, which is where I'm originally from. I was born in Bulgaria. My parents are Bulgarian. I speak Bulgarian. My family's here. So that's where I am right now. I decided to spend some time here to basically relax, spend time in nature, as you could probably see and hear, and, you know, just get to visit with my family until medical school starts. So here we are, 1 month out. My medical school starts on July 13th, 2020, and I'm extremely excited for it. Now, up until this point, we've had second look day, which became virtual, so of course it was significantly different. We didn't get to meet our classmates in person or see the campus again, and on top of that, trying to find roommates based on their Facebook profiles is kind of difficult as well, but I think I panned out pretty well. So recently, me and my classmates, we decided to do a Zoom call to get to know each other a little bit better, and during that time we ended up playing some fun games, so I wanted to share with you guys in case anybody else is bored or wants to connect with their class virtually. So if you haven't heard of Scribble.io, I'll put the links below, but it's basically pick a multiplayer Pictionary. You can play together online and try to figure out what the other person is drawing. The other game that I really like is Language Guesser. If you are a fanatic for different languages like I am, they play different music videos, so you get to learn new songs from different languages and try and figure out which ones they are. And then the last game that we played was GeoGuessr. So this one I thought was really cool. Basically, you get dropped off on Google Maps somewhere in the world, and you get to see everything that's around you, and you need to use the clues of, street signs, city names, and things like that to figure out where in the world you are and try to pinpoint it on a map. So if you're interested, check those out. They're in the description below. But what I wanted to share with you guys today is that I'm extremely excited for med school. It starts in 1 month. I don't know where I'll be in 1 month still, but the good thing is that our med school has decided that we will be virtual at least until the end of August. Now, this is both a good and a bad thing. Of course, it's not that great. It's not as exciting to do virtual orientation, but on the other hand, we'll just go with the flow and see how it goes. So I'm sure some of you are also starting med school or will be starting med school in the future, and I wanted to share a few things with you that I'm nervous about. So the first thing is specific to my school. My class size is rather small. There's only 50 of us. So I'm kind of nervous because, yes, 50 people, it's great. You can get to know everybody super well and become really close friends. But I'm also worried because you're going to have to interact with these 50 people for the next 4 years. And if you have some character conflicts or something goes wrong, then you're kind of stuck with those 50 people, and you don't have a class size of 100 or 200 to hide behind. So that's one thing I'm nervous about. The second thing is the amount of information, right? Everybody keeps saying that going to medical school and the amount of information is like drinking water out of a fire hose. So of course I'm nervous about that. I'm nervous if I can manage it, if it's doable, if I'll be able to take in all of that content. And one of the other things is that my curriculum starts off with things like biochemistry and genetics and histology, which are things that I didn't really learn in undergrad as a biomedical engineer. So it'll definitely be a learning experience for me right from the beginning. And the third thing that I'm nervous about is balance. Am I going to be able to balance all of these things? My studies, my time, my fitness, my relationships, is it going to be manageable? And of course that's stressing me out, but there's no reason I should stress because I won't know until I start med school. I won't know how to manage it, but hopefully I will learn how to manage it. Now for the fun part, what am I excited about? Of course, I am excited about learning. I have always loved to learn new things, and I'm super excited about, yes, learning all the basic sciences, but more importantly afterwards, when we get to the clinical part, when we get to all of the different body systems, patient-based learning, and getting to use problem solving and critical thinking to do patient diagnosis. Second thing, meeting people. So I think of myself as a social chameleon. I like to adapt to the situation. When I'm at home alone, I'm a pretty good introvert, and when I'm in public, I really like to interact with people, learn about their background, so I'm extremely excited to meet my 49 classmates, and I love to make people laugh. And finally, the last thing, which is also specific to my school, is that we have selectives. After every big block or big exam that we do, we have what we call selective weeks off. Now, during this time, we get to direct our own learning experience. So we have this time either to spend time with family, go on vacation, or we can do any type of learning experience that we want. We can go conduct research, we can go shadow at different hospitals, we can travel abroad to do volunteer missions, we can do anything that we want. And I really love being able to use my creativity to direct my learning experience. So what I want to leave you guys with is maybe for some of you or most of you that are starting med school, that med school is going to be very different from what it has looked like in the past for first-year medical students. We're mostly going to be online. We might get to interact in small groups, but it's definitely going to be a new experience. And as disappointed or discouraged as we might be, just be excited for it because it could be a blessing in disguise, right? Just take a deep breath. This might be a good way for you to build your discipline, build your habits, your study systems, and take care of yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Next week I have some videos coming up about budgeting, medical school costs, medical school scholarships. So if you're interested, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. See you next week.